Sagittarius and Delusional Optimism. What do I mean by that? Let's talk about it. If you're a first-time watcher, I'm Lamarr Townsend. I'm a natural intuitive, clairvoyant, clairaudient, empathic, psychic tarot reader, and I would love to do a personal, private, confidential tarot reading for you. Please visit my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com, to purchase your own personal reading, or email me at lamar.townsend@gmail.com. I also do birth chart readings, so if you'd be interested in that, please once again check out my website, lamarrtownsendtarot.com. I would also love it if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification button so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. And also, please follow me on Instagram and like me on Facebook. The links will be down below in the description box, okay? Sagittarius and Delusional Optimism. Well, let me first start by saying that my Mercury and Mars are in Sagittarius. Both my Mercury and Mars are in Sag. And if you don't know, Mercury, if you don't know what I mean by that, we're not just our sun sign, we are a totality of a birth chart. So a birth chart is basically a placement of where the planets were in the sky at the time you were born. And the planets Mars and Mercury were in the sign Sagittarius when I was born. So therefore my Mars and Mercury are in Sagittarius, okay? Not to mention that I was born on December 27th, which is the month of Sagittarius, but I'm a Capricorn, so I'm kind of on that Sag Capricorn cusp, okay? So nonetheless, I have a lot of Sagittarius energy. Actually, the most prominent planets, or the most prominent signs in my chart, are actually Capricorn, Sagittarius, and Scorpio. So I'm speaking from kind of my own perspective on one hand. So Sagittarius and Delusional Optimism. What do I mean by that? Well, Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter, which is, it rules optimism. It also rules luck. It rules expansion and adventure, as well as intelligence, higher learning, higher education, travel, but mostly travel on a kind of quest to gain knowledge, on a quest to gain maybe a sense of individualism, or even, some philosophical experience, or kind of knowledge. So because Sagittarius is such an intelligent, optimistic, very happy-go-lucky, go with the flow, quick-witted zodiac sign, most of the time, they can get themselves out of any kind of tumultuous or rocky situation, right? Because they're so quick-witted and intelligent and smart and funny and warm-hearted and easy to get along with, and easy to kind of disarm other people's guards, right? Or they can kind of rely a little bit too much on their charismatic qualities sometimes, at times, and their natural tendency to have good luck, which can sometimes lead them to delusional optimism. Now, delusional optimism. What do I mean by that? Delusional. Well, let's define delusional. What does delusional mean? And excuse me while I go ahead and type in delusional on Google, so that we can get a dictionary term or dictionary definition. So, via dictionary.com, delusional is defined as having false or unrealistic beliefs or opinions. Maintaining fixed false beliefs even when confronted with facts, usually as a result of mental illness. Now, that doesn't mean you're mentally ill. That's just dictionaries.com definition of delusional. I'm not sure I agree with that, but there is certainly an essence of mental illness when it comes to delusion. All right, but there are different degrees to delusion. So when it comes to optimistic delusion, that I wouldn't really put that maybe under the category of mental illness. Now, I can't speak for everyone, and I'm also not a medical, practitioner, or I don't know anything about the medical field. I didn't study medicine. I studied advertising. I studied marketing, which is the psychology of the human mind, and things of that nature, right? So, anyways, going off track, Sagittarius and delusional optimism. So, delusion is defined as having unrealistic beliefs or opinions, having false or unrealistic beliefs or opinions. And optimism, let's define what optimism is. Optimism. Sorry. And according to dictionary.com, optimism is it's the belief that good ultimately predominates over evil in the world. A disposition or tendency to look on the more favorable side of events or conditions and to expect the most favorable outcome. Okay, so when we put delusion in front of optimism, what happens? Because we have to think, a word by itself is energy. A word by itself is a moment. But when we put another word in front of it or behind it, it creates another meaning, a different layer, right? So let's go back to what delusion is. Delusion is having false or unrealistic beliefs or opinions. Optimism is the belief that good ultimately predominates over evil in the world. Or, I think I'm going to go so much with, I think I'm going to go with the first definition, which is a disposition or tendency to look on the more favorable side of events and conditions and to expect the most favorable outcome. So basically, delusional optimism is the belief that, only good happens in the world, that, because, I'm optimistic, because, I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I'm gorgeous, I'm beautiful, I'm this and I'm that, because the stars are aligned, because this planet is in this sign, this week, this month, I'm good, I, just have to think positive and everything's going to be okay, and, it doesn't work that way, and that's what I mean by delusional optimism, and I think, that's one actually reason why a lot of the other signs get really, frustrated and annoyed with Sagittarius. Now, remind you, I said I do have strong Sagittarius energy in my chart, so I'm speaking from my own perspective. I definitely annoy people. I know that, but it's that Sagittarian energy of, oh, well, things aren't going my way right now, but, they'll be better in the future, And to some people, maybe that is delusional optimism. Oh, Lamarr, he's so delusional. Look at him in the trenches, and he's just so happy and, optimistic. He's so delusional, just delusional. That's one way to look at it. But whereas Virgos can be a little bit delusional, I think, as well. But the thing about Virgos is Virgos tend to know the truth, but they ignore it for whatever reason, right? Sagittarius tend to just kind of sometimes ignore the truth in general, because sometimes they think their truth prevails over whatever universal truth or whatever truth they're dealing with or confronting at the time, right? Which sometimes that works to their benefit. I will give a Sagittarius that. I will give us that. Us with strong Sagittarius Jupiterian energy in our chart. We definitely are lucky. We definitely do have, that optimistic, luck to us. When we think positive thoughts come back to us. When we, send out positive vibes and send out love, that comes back to us tenfold, right? And Sagittarius know that. But sometimes I think it's just important for Sagittarius to be a little bit more realistic. To, look at the facts. That doesn't mean you have to accept the... Well, no, okay, I don't want to say that. That doesn't mean you have to... How do I word this? Because the thing about Sagittarius is you also have to word things really, really constructively and concisely. It's not what you say to a Sagittarius, it's how you say it, right? That ultimately fires them up or gets them confused or gets them impassioned, right? So, Sagittarius, it's important to face the facts, but that facing the facts doesn't mean that you are accepting the facts as your truth, your individual truth, okay? Let's be optimistic, but let's not be delusional. Let's not be delusional to the facts. Let's not be delusional to the realistic situation around us. Now, once again, that does not mean that we have to accept that as our truth, right? And just because the other people around us are accepting the situation, as their truth, if this is a shared experience, a shared situation for all, that doesn't mean that you have to accept, the shared situation as your truth, Sagittarius. I think what irritates people about Sagittarius and their tendency to be delusionally optimistic is, once again, their tendency to just ignore the facts, ignore, what's in front of them, because to a Sagittarius that does not matter. So what matters to a Sagittarius is what their vision, their ultimate goal. Not where they are right now, but where they're going, where they want to be, right? Most Sagittarius, at least. Those Sagittarius who are stuck are most likely accepting and adopting the ideology, the theology. I don't even know if that applies to the situation, but that word comes to my mind. The ideology, the thought process, the kind of spirit, I guess, even of the people around them. And if the ideology, the theologies, the spirits of the people around them are negative, then Sagittarius is going to encompass those negative qualities. However, if Sag is even a little bit delusionally optimistic, they're going to rise above that, and people are going to resent Sagittarius for that. But how Sagittarius can combat that, because, people always come after, even if it's subtly, even if it's subliminally, even if it's consciously or unconsciously, people always go after those that they see as better than them, that they see as having the potential to do better than them and be better than them in life. And so they either consciously or unconsciously have a tendency to, little by little, bit by bit, tear that person down. How a Sagittarius can combat that, because Sagittarius can be prone to being torn down if they're delusionally optimistic. It's the coffee. A Sagittarius can be prone to being torn down by their haters and naysayers and this and those people by being delusionally optimistic. However, a Sagittarius can fight off those haters and combat those haters and fight back by being realistically optimistic, right? By being optimistic, but also facing the facts. Not having to accept those facts as your individual truth, but facing them nonetheless, right? And then rising above it. So that's my speech, I guess, on Sagittarius and delusional optimism. All right. Did I just create a new phrase, a new word? I don't think this is a new thing, to be honest. But the same thing people envy Sag for is the same thing that people kind of praise Sag for. Their delusional optimism. So you can never win fully with, people, Sag. And I think you know that. So, just keep doing you, but be a little bit more grounded, maybe. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment, like, subscribe, share with your friends and family. Contact me for your own personal private tarot reading or birth chart reading at LamarrTownsendTarot.com. My readings are only $1 per minute. My tarot readings are $1 per minute. If you want a birth chart reading, you can, purchase it on my website. If you have any questions, check out the FAQ section and the personal ethics section. Okay, I appreciate you for listening and watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification button so that you get a notification whenever I upload a new video. I would also love it if you would follow me on Instagram at Lamarr Townsend and like me on Facebook, facebook.com/Lamarr Townsend official. Thank you, and I wish you nothing but the best, love, health, and lots of success. Adios.